Major General Neeraj Bali, thank you so much for joining us on WION World is One. We have been discussing Operation Sindoor all morning since the wee hours of Wednesday morning. Now, of course, I want to first begin by asking you, what does it entail to plan an operation as such? We know that India has carried out precision strikes. It's shown considerable restraint. What does it really entail?
You're absolutely right. India has shown a great deal of restraint. In fact, the statement that India put out immediately after that had words like focused, measured, and non-escalatory. And they went out of their way to point out that we are not attacking any of the military infrastructure. Having said that, even in the naming of the operation, which is a very unusual name for a military operation, definitely wouldn't have come from a military mind, is a clear messaging both inside the country as well as to Pakistan that this is absolutely a payback, a retaliation for what really happened to our ladies and to our families in Pahalgam. Now, to answer your question, we are about 2 weeks beyond Pahalgam, and all this while there has been a great deal of expectation in the country that some kinetic action will happen, and which did happen last night. A lot of planning would have gone into this on multiple levels. We already had a photograph of the Prime Minister meeting the three chiefs and the CDS, and then he met other chiefs one after the other. This would not have been limited to just the Air Force, because it looks like an Air Force action, but actually it is definitely a multi-force action where all forces would have participated in the planning, in the strategic thinking, and most importantly, what the fallout might be. What we have done is visible to the world, and even the Pakistanis have acknowledged it. But what happens next is what we would have planned for. And I think that is where the bulk of the thought would have gone in.
Absolutely, and it's important that you mentioned that, and that's exactly what we wanted our viewers to understand as well, that this is not just limited to the Air Force as well, and such kind of a precision strike, of course, requires a lot of planning as well, and for all the forces to come together. You also mentioned that India, of course, in its statement has mentioned that this was non-escalatory. We were earlier joined by Lieutenant General Raj Shukla, who pointed out something that was rather pertinent in this scenario. It said that the escalatory dominance still lies with India. Despite the fact of what's happened, the escalatory dominance lies with India. And this is more of a testament to India's statecraft. What do you have to say about that?
Look, the escalatory dominance lies with India in as much it pertains to the conventional operations.
All right.
If there is a conventional conflict between India and Pakistan, very clearly we know which side is the more powerful one. Even the Pakistanis would be the first one to acknowledge it. Having said that, that is not the only direction in which we have to look. You see, Pakistanis have had what we have called cultivated irrationality over the years and decades. And any sensible army or armed forces or country like ours should not foist our template of rationality onto the enemy and say, this is what we would have done, therefore this is what they would do. Because Pakistanis don't follow that. They can come out with something very crazy. When it comes to asymmetric warfare, the kind that Pakistanis have waged on us for the last 30, 40 years, in which there is always they try to have a plausible deniability, in that I don't think the issue of escalatory dominance comes into play. Look at what happened in Pahalgam, what they did with a strike, which lasted just maybe 5 or 10 minutes. So I would say, I think while we have to be completely vigilant along our borders, not just the line of control, but the international border, because Pakistanis don't respect that, and we must be fully seized with the possibility that there may be a war. But I don't think that is where it is headed. If you look at the Pakistani actions this morning, and I can cite one or two, look at their messaging in their own newspapers. Look at the fake news they are spreading, talking about 5 aircraft being shot down, as Dawn reported this morning, or, brigade headquarters demolished. They are doing this to tell their country, our response is already muscular enough. We have already taken action. And possibly the future actions that might happen will also be in the same direction. So I don't think there's going to be a conventional action. I hope there is not. But if that is where it is, I would agree with General Shukla that we have the dominance.
All right, Major General Bali, of course, just to better understand, there's some quick points that I want to touch on as well. You mentioned that in case of a conventional war, that would be the case. Also, we've been talking about mock drills in India. We've seen that we've seen the inflammatory comments that have been coming in from Pakistan. We've seen ceasefire violations for 13 nights. Last night, of course, was very, very different. That being said, do you think it's just a battle of narrative when it comes to Pakistan? Or face saving,
it's
perhaps?
not just. Well, look, let's see what is happening within Pakistan. For sure, we should expect a retaliation of some sort. We should not, there is no other way to look at it. It is not just a narrative. Of course, it is partly narrative. They've gone on overdrive spreading this fake news, trying to manage perception and so on and so forth. They've even spread this across. If you read the Global Times and the Chinese this morning, the same news is being repeated about Indian aircraft being shot on, etc. Having said that, we have known for some time, and I'm not speculating, that there has been a divide within the Pakistani army in which the younger generation does support Imran Khan, somebody that Asif Munir did not. And therefore, this is an opportunity for Asif Munir to take an action to coalesce the public and popular opinion, coalesce the opinion behind himself. I don't think there is any scenario at all where there will not be a kind of a tit for tat. In what direction does it come is anybody's guess. But I would think this is going to be more in the asymmetric, non-conventional warfare sphere than anywhere else.
All right. Thank you so much for joining us on WION World is One with your insights and your perspective on this. Of course, there'll be lots more to discuss. Thank you so much for your time for now.